This is Sophie Rogers and you're watching Sport and Icons.
Dave, you've just done the press conference to announce your partnership with Mo Pryor, for putting on shows up here in the Northeast.
Yeah, it went really well. I enjoyed the attendance that came out. The questions were good. It's a win-win situation for the Northeast, hopefully.
So why did you decide to make the plunge of leaving the British Box Border Control to concentrate on this?
Basically just to get more shows, get Northeast fighters out there and create more champions. I loved every minute of being on the Border Control as an inspector and a voting member on the council. I'd like to think maybe one day I could go back to it, but there just seems to be a bit of a glitch of the amount of bouts that we get in our area. Nobody's promoting from Leeds up to Sunderland, so this has been ongoing for about 4 years. I've been talking to Mo about this, and just the time is right. The finances are in place. Many fighters are looking to turn over. We'll take it from there, really.
So how many shows per year are you ideally looking to put on?
In a perfect world, this year it'll be 3, and then next year possibly 7 or 8. Split between 2 venues, one South Durham, another venue in Middlesbrough, and we'll just alternate backwards and forwards.
Now they're the kind of markets that haven't been touched for many, many years, potentially a sleeping giant.
Middlesbrough, Teesside, Yarm, Stockton, Norton, even West Hartlepool, massive fight towns back in the day. They hosted many title fights. Like look at Mickey Hunter at Borough Hall. Like the list goes on from Middlesbrough, and they've got such a diverse amount of gyms down there. The amount of calls we've had recently over the last month that this has been ongoing with regards to people wanting to turn over has just been overwhelming. And now there's an alternative to what has been up here. If we can get more fights on, get other promoters' fights on. It's not just about promoting our fighters. Get more titles on, like, fill the restaurants, get the hotels, get the buzz back about boxing in the Northeast. That's the route we're trying to go.
Now, I was just speaking with Mo Pryor there, and he says, of course, it would help if boxers could sell tickets, but he says ultimately he's not that fussed.
Mo's been in the business long enough that he knows what works, he knows what doesn't work. He has a good backing of sponsorship who are willing to invest in the right kids. If we've got a kid signs with us and there's a limited amount of shows in the Northeast and he's not ready, Mo will gladly bite the bullet, send them down to the Peacock gym, which he's just invested in, and your call, and possibly any of his other shows in Bournemouth or Swansea, Cardiff, whoever he's co-promoting with. And to his credit, he'll lose money on that. Like, if we send a fighter down from here who doesn't sell any tickets, that fighter deserves a wage, and his opponent's got to get paid. So the chances are he might lose 3.5 grand on that fighter. But he's the kind of man that doesn't just take out the boxing. He's looking to get back into boxing. He wants champions, and just you got to speculate to accumulate. So he's willing to invest the time and energy and the money, and good luck to him.
Do you believe that between yourself and Mark that you're going to find the next headliner coming from like a Borough or Stockton, like this kind of area?
Wouldn't that be fantastic? Female boxing's on the rise. Savannah Marshall has done fantastic for herself. Coming out of Hartlepool, why shouldn't there be a next? A lot of, if you go to the major tournaments, we go to Haringey Box Cup. If you go to the Elite Nationals and the ABAs, Eddie Hearn's always sat there ringside, and he's quite happily. And the Warrens are always there. They're looking for the next big thing. If we can catch them early up here, tell them what we're willing to invest in them, why not? Why shouldn't we have the next Anthony Joshua come out of Durham, Sunderland, Newcastle, Teesside? It's there to be had.
Now, Frank Warren, he used to put on shows up here in the Northeast. Do you think that maybe you guys putting on shows may encourage him, for example, to come back up here?
I would hope so. Mo co-promotes a lot at York Hall with the Warrens, so I don't see why not. He obviously, I don't think he's got any commitment to any fighters in the Northeast, but if Mo's managing them and we've got a decent show coming along, and Frank or George or Francis want to get a bit of investment, sign them to promotional deals if they're willing to come back up here. If they're good kids, why not?
Now, I'll just say that any fighters out there, you don't have to sign with like you guys to be on the show. it's like a Mark would be happy to put them on the show. Obviously, if obviously he'd have to be like prioritising his own fighters first. But if there's a slot, you're always going to be open to have other fighters just make an appearance.
Absolutely. It's more of a promote the Northeast, promote boxers from the Northeast. They don't have to be signed no more. If we've got slots on our show and the two guys, Matty Jobs and Danny Mackay, doing fantastic work with Jobs Promotions, if they've got somebody they want to put on our show and say, look, we've got to go out on, it's not going to cost us anything, we need to get him out because he's got a potential of getting a title fight or getting onto a big show later, put him on our show if it helps anybody else. It's not all about getting your own fighters out there, it's the area. We want champions from this area. We currently only have 3 Northern Area champions. We need more. Why? If everyone works together, if everyone gets a piece of the pie, if it's financially viable for us, yeah, well, absolutely, we'll put other people's fighters on. The first show we've got in June won't have any of our fighters on because the 2 that we've just signed today, their licenses won't be back in time for those bouts, so they'll be. I've been in talks with several of them, trainers and managers, promoters who are looking to get their fighters on our tentative date of June the 24th. So, absolutely, if people want to come on the shows, just call us. We're only a phone call away. They don't have to be signed to us.
All right, Dave, I appreciate your time. Anything else you want to add?
I'd just like to thank everybody that came out to the press today. It's a bit of an informal gathering just to introduce more to some of the movers and shakers up here, and we are only a phone call away. If any fighters out of contract looking for another option, give us a call. A phone call doesn't cost anything.
Key point there, out of contract.
Absolutely out of contract. If you're 1 week in contract, 1 day in contract, don't call. Call us the day after you've broke contract or left contract, or send us an email with your managers stating that he's let you out of contract. So we're not looking to steal any fighters from any other promoters. It doesn't make sense for us to do that to piss people off. I'd put other fighters on. We don't need them to sign with us. We'll put them on anyway. So, yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot.